We'll start with the problems now. Look at the first problem. A rectangular column of width 200 mm and thickness 150 mm. Okay, this is a rectangular column having width is 200 mm and thickness is 150 mm. Carries a point load of 240 kilonewton at an eccentricity of 10 mm as shown in figure. Determine the maximum and minimum stresses on the section. Okay, he has given the diagram of a rectangular column, and this column is having a width of 200 mm and thickness of 150 mm. The topmost cross section, it is having this as width and 150 as thickness. Now it is subjected to load of 240 kilonewton at an eccentricity of 10 mm from neutral axis towards right. Now from this diagram you can analyze that if you hold a pen in your hand and if you push it or if you bend it towards right, then it will get bent towards right, and from that we can see that C and D, this section will be subjected to compressive bending stress and the left section will be subjected to tensile bending stress. Okay, because there is reduction of length here and there is increase in length here. So when it is subjected to eccentric loading, we already know that the column will be subjected to direct stress, that is direct compressive stress, and also bending stress, because this column is going to bend towards right. But when it is subjected to bending stress, to the right side layer, because of the bending there will be compressive stress. When you hold the pen and bend it towards right, this right layer will be subjected to compressive bending stress and left layer will be subjected to tensile bending stress. So if I consider this layer, on this layer, because of this load there will be compressive stress sigma d, and because of the bending there is a compression, so because of the bending also there is a compressive stress. So if I consider net stress at this section, that is C and D, sigma max will be summation of direct stress and bending stress because both are compressive in nature. But same if I consider this layer, because of the direct stress there will be compression, but because of the bending of the beam there will be tension. Okay, so here minimum stress will be acting. Minimum stress is given as direct stress is compressive, so take it as positive, and bending stress is tensile, so take it as minus sigma b. These two are adding, so it is giving me maximum stress at C and D, and these two are getting subtracted, so I'll get minimum stress at A and B. It is as simple as that. So for finding maximum stress and minimum stress, I need to find what is direct stress and what is bending stress. We know that direct stress is given by load by area. Load is 240 kilonewton, so 240 into 10 raised to 3. Since it is in kilonewton, I am converting it into 10 into newton. Divided by area is nothing but 200 into 150, that is 200 into 150. So direct stress I am getting it as 8 Newton per mm square. Then bending stress is given by M by I into Y. I need to take it with respect to Y axis because eccentricity is with respect to Y axis. When it bends towards right, it will bend with respect to Y axis. You can just imagine when it is bending towards right, it is going to tilt with respect to Y axis. Okay, and eccentricity is with respect to Y axis, so I need to take I by Y. Substitute the values. Sigma b, M will become P into E. M is nothing but load into perpendicular distance is eccentricity E, divided by I by Y. We know the formula as I by Y is equal to D B cube divided by 12 into Y is nothing but distance from neutral axis, that is Y axis. Since we have taken I by Y into extreme fiber, that is this fiber or this fiber, which is given as 200 by 2, that is nothing but B by 2. After substituting all the values of P, E, D and B, I'll get bending stresses 2.4 Newton per mm square. Now I know that maximum stress is sigma D plus sigma B and minimum stress is sigma D minus sigma B. So I'm substituting that values. Maximum stress is sigma D plus sigma B, that is 8 plus 2.4, that is 10.4 Newton per mm square, which is acting at this section, right section. Since it is positive, that means the stress is compressive in nature. Then minimum stress is equal to sigma d minus sigma b, which is nothing but 8 minus 2.4. Again I am going to get it as plus 5.6 Newton per mm square. That means here also the stress, resultant stress, is compressive in nature. This was about first problem. We'll consider second problem now. Look at the statement. A hollow circular column having external and internal diameters of 300 mm and 250 mm respectively carries a vertical load of 20 kN at an outer edge of column. Calculate maximum and minimum intensities of stresses in the section. Okay, in the problem he has given only this diagram. He has not given this diagram. I have only drawn this diagram. The column is hollow, having outer diameter of 300 mm and inner diameter of 250 mm, and this column is subjected to a load which is acting at the outer edge of column. He has given this statement also, and he has given this diagram also. Okay, outer edge in the sense this is the outermost edge, and in the outermost edge it is acting along the x-axis at this point P, and the value of P is 20 kN. He has told us to find what is the maximum and minimum stress intensities. When the load is acting at this point, we know that this load will try to compress the column in downward direction, and also it will try to bend the column in right side. When it is trying to bend the column in right side, this layer will be subjected to direct compressive stress and also bending compressive stress, because when it bends right side, this layer will get compressed. But if you consider this stress, so it is subjected to maximum stress, because direct stress is also compressive in nature and bending stress is also compressive in nature, so both will get added. But if you consider this layer is subjected to compressive stress because of the direct stress 20 kN, and because of the right side bending, this layer will get stretched and it will be subjected to tensile stress. So when I add both the stresses at this layer, I'll get sigma minimum, because both one is compressive in nature and other is tensile in nature, so they will get subtracted. Now for finding maximum stress and minimum stress, I need to find direct stress and bending stress. We all know that direct stress is given by P by A and bending stress is given by M by I into Y. Now let us calculate individually the terms. Here I need area. Area of this hollow section will become pi by 4 outer diameter square minus inner diameter square. That is, outer diameter is 300, inner diameter is 250. When I substitute the values, I'll get the value of area. Once I get the value of area, here I need the value of moment. Moment is nothing but force into perpendicular distance about neutral axis. Force is 20 kN and perpendicular distance is from here to here, the distance is 300 divided by 2, because outer diameter is 300 and this is radius, which is 300 divided by 2. So moment will become P into outer diameter divided by 2. That is, I'll get the values as 3 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Remember to convert kilonewton into Newton, that is 20 into 10 raised to 3 into 300 divided by 2. Now Ixx or Iyy, both I will get the same values for circular section, but look at the load. It is acting at this point. It is having an eccentricity with respect to y-axis. Okay, it is having perpendicular distance or eccentricity with respect to y-axis, not with respect to z-axis. So I need to take Iyy. It will become pi by 64 d raised to 4 minus inner diameter raised to 4. Substitute the values and you will get the value of Iyy. Then y is nothing but distance from neutral axis. Since I have taken Iyy, distance from Iyy neutral axis to extreme fiber, that is this one, that is nothing but radius, that is 300 by 2. So diameter by 2, radius 300 by 2 is 150 mm. Substitute the values which you have found out, then you will get direct stress as P by area. P is 20 into 10 raised to 3 Newton divided by area is this value. So I'll get the direct stress as 0.925 Newton per mm square. Then bending stress is equal to M by I by Y into Y, where M is 3 into 10 raised to 6 divided by I by Y is this value into y is 150, so I'll get the value of bending stress is 2.185 Newton per mm square. Maximum stress is in this layer, that is sum of direct stress and bending stress. After adding direct stress and bending stress, I'll get this positive value, which means it is compressive in nature, that is 3.11 Newton per mm square compressive in nature. Minimum stress is direct stress minus bending stress, which will be acting on this layer because it is subjected to compressive stress because of load, and because of the bending moment it is subjected to tensile stress. So plus 0.925, which is direct stress, minus bending stress, which I'll get it as minus 1.26 Newton per mm square. Minus in the sense it is tensile in nature, so the stress, net resultant stress acting on this layer is tensile in nature. So this is about this problem. Coming to the third problem, we'll understand the statement of the problem and then we'll solve this problem. A short column of external diameter 400 mm and internal diameter 200 mm carries an eccentric load of 80 kN. Find the greatest eccentricity which the load can have without producing tension on the cross section. Okay, if I explain the problem, he has given the column is having an outer diameter of 400 mm and internal diameter of 200 mm. I am going to apply a load on this column, say along x-axis, having eccentricity with respect to y-axis. I have to place this load in such a way that when the distance should be maximum from the neutral axis, and it should be such that when I place the load there should not be tensile force induced inside this column. So I have to find maximum eccentricity at which I can place the load so that there is no tensile force induced in the column. For that, for solving this problem, again what I need to use is the condition of safe load. What is the condition? The condition is, for no tension condition, direct stress should always be greater than or at least equal to bending stress. We'll consider the limiting condition, that is direct stress should be at least equal to bending stress, then we'll get the maximum eccentricity. Okay, so I'm considering that equation, direct stress should be equal to bending stress. We know that direct stress is P by A and bending stress is M by I y into y. I because load is having eccentricity with respect to y-axis. Calculate the individual values. A is pi by 4 outer diameter square minus inner diameter square. I'll get this value. M is P into E. Value of load he has given it as 80 kilonewtons, so it will be 80 into 10 raised to 3 into eccentricity I need to find, so I'll keep it as E. So I got the value of M. Now I for circular section, hollow circular section, it is pi by 64 outer diameter raised to 4 minus inner diameter raised to 4. Then I'll get this value. Then y is nothing but distance from neutral axis, since I've taken y to the extreme fiber. Extreme fiber is this one, outermost fiber, that is outer diameter divided by 2, that is 400 divided by 2. 400 divided by 2 will give me 200. Now substitute all the values in this equation. P is 80 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, he has given in the problem, divided by area I have calculated here, is equal to M is 80 into 10 raised to 3 into eccentricity E divided by I by y, here I have calculated the value, substitute it here, into y is 200. From here I'll get the value of eccentricity E as 62.5 mm. That is nothing but, if I place the load at eccentricity E equal to 62.5, then I will not get any tension in the column, even if it bends towards right or bends towards left when I apply a load of 80 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. But if I place the load beyond 62.5, then there will be tension induced in the column and the design is not a safe design. This is about the third problem. In the next video we will look at the final problem and then we'll wind up the third unit.